Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video I will show you in MVC how to create a cascading drop-down list functionality using AngularJS. And here we got the final output, the header tags, horizontal line and 3 drop-down list controls. Notice the state and city are disabled until a user selects the country name. If I select India, see here the select states drop-down list is enabled. The states of India is Telangana, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Now let's select the Telangana, select city Hyderabad. If I select USA, Texas, Australia, Queensland, Brisbane. That's it. We have implemented AngularJS in MVC to create a cascading drop-down list functionality. If you are a first-time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. For this video tutorial, I am creating a new MVC application. Go to File, New, Project. And from the web templates, I am selecting ASP.NET Web Application and the .NET Framework. I am using 4.6.1. The application name is MVC Cascading Dropdown List AngularJS. It's a project name. Click OK. And from the templates, I'm selecting MVC. Click OK. And the project is created successfully. Let's close this default window. Let's open Solution Explorer. Now in this project, let's minimize the references folder. And notice in the scripts folder, there is no any AngularJS files. Now let's install AngularJS. Right click the project name. Manage Net packages. Select that one. Go to Browse and search for AngularJS. Enter. And from the search results, I'm selecting the first option. Click Install. Click OK. And notice here in the Solution Explorer, in the scripts folder, the AngularJS files are installing in our project. And the AngularJS installed successfully into our project. And also notice there is a green tick mark, which means the AngularJS installed successfully. Let's close this Net package window. Now after installing AngularJS, now we have to configure app_start folder, expand that one, bundle config.cs file, open that file. Now in this page, just copy this part, paste here at the bottom. In the script bundle / bootstrap, instead of bootstrap I'm adding Angular, and I'm adding the script / angular.js, and I don't require the response.js file. That's it. We have configured the AngularJS in bundle config.cs file. After that, let's open Solution Explorer. Now let's add the ADO.NET Entity Data Model to our project. Right click the project name, add ADO.NET Entity Data Model, select that one, and the model name is, I'm adding Cas is the model name. Okay. And from the model contents, I'm selecting EF Designer from database. Next, let's create a new connection. I'm adding SQL Server name, user PC. After adding SQL Server name, now I'm selecting the database name. SampleDB.database. Test connection is succeeded. Okay. And here we got the connection string, and the connection string name is a sample DB entities, and I'm saving this connection string in the web.config file. Click next. And from the selected database objects, I'm expanding the tables as well as the DBO. The tables, I'm selecting city, country, and state. I have chosen 3 tables: country, state, and city. Let's click finish. And here the table objects, let's close this window. And here the table objects are added: country, state, and city. After that, now let's add a controller. Open Solution Explorer. I'm minimizing the references folder. In the controllers folder, I'm adding a new controller. Right click the controllers folder, add controller, and I'm selecting MVC file controller empty. Click add. The controller name is CAS add. And here we got our controller CAS. Now in this controller, I'm adding public JSON result get country is a method name. In this JSON result method, I'm adding my connection string, which is a sample DB entities, as D is equals to new sample DB entities. After that, let's create a variable get country is equals to sd dot countries object dot toList method, a return JSON method. The JSON method takes 2 parameters. The first one is the object data. We are getting the data from this object get country. Copy this one and paste here, comma. And the second parameter is the JSON request behavior. Let's add that one. JSON request behavior dot allow get semicolon. That's it. We have added the control. That's it. We have added the coding part to fetch the data from the country table. Now let's create another JSON result for the get states. When a user selects any country name, I want to get the selected country name states in a second drop down control. So let's add http post method public JSON result get states. Now in this JSON result method, I'm adding the int CID. I'm declaring an object int CID, which is when a user select any particular country ID, I want to display that particular country ID states. So variable get states is equals to sd dot states dot where class. Here I'm adding the link expression x dot. In the state table, we have 3 columns: country ID, state ID, and state name. So here I'm adding the country ID is equals to, I'm adding this object CID dot select method x. I'm creating an object new x dot SID, comma x dot sname dot toList method. Return JSON. The JSON method takes again 2 parameters. First one is the object data. Here we are getting the data from this get states object, comma JSON request behavior dot allow get. Now the last third method, JSON result method for get cities, When a user selects any particular state, I want to get that city of that state. HTTP post method public JSON result get city int SID variable get city is equals to sd dot cities dot where clause x dot. In city table we have 3 columns: city ID, city name and SID. I'm adding the state ID. We are selecting the state ID is equals to SID. This object dot select method x new x dot city ID comma x dot city name dot toList method. After that I want to result JSON result return JSON method. The object here is a get city comma JSON request behavior, the second parameter dot allow get. That's it. We have added the coding part in the controller. Now we require the view page. Now before adding the view page to this project, we must build the application first. Build solution. And here we got a message build succeeded. Let's close this output message box. Now let's create an index view page. Highlight the index, right click the mouse, add view. The view name is index only and the template empty without model. Click add. And here we got the index view page. And now in this first index view page I'm adding the center tag. Let's close the center tag. After the headers, change the headers cascading dropdown list country state and city. MVC AngularJS. After the headers I'm adding the horizontal line. Now in this index view page I'm adding the AngularJS reference link. Open Solution Explorer, come to the bottom. In the scripts folder there is a angular.js file. Here it is. Just drag and drop. After that let's add the AngularJS snippet variable app is equals to angular.module method. In this module method takes 2 parameters. The string name, I'm adding my Angular application name, my app, comma. The second one is the array requires, so I'm adding the array, semicolon. App.controller. The controller method takes 2 parameters. The name, the first one is between double quotes, I'm adding my controller, which is a controller name, comma. The callback definition is a function $scope, comma, $HTTP. Between curly braces, semicolon. First I'm adding $HTTP. The HTTP method colon, the method is the get method, so I'm adding the get, comma. The next one is the URL. Between single quotes I'm adding the URL path, /. I'm adding the path, the controller name, which is CAS, C-A-S. Let's add that one, /. Now in this URL, the first one, I'm adding the JSON result country names, get countries, method name, dot, then function. I'm adding response between curly braces, dollar scope, dot, I'm adding get country, list is an object, response dot data, semicolon. Let's close with semicolon. That's it. We have added the AngularJS snippet to get the country details from this get countries JSON result method into this get country list object. Now the next one, I'm creating a function to get the get states. Dollar scope dot get states is a function name, function. Now in this function, I'm declaring a variable country ID, and this variable I'm declaring the country ID. When a user selects a particular country from the drop down list, I want to display that selected country states in the second drop down list. Dollar scope dot, I'm adding country, and this country is an object I have created for the country ID. If country ID, if a user selects a particular country ID, I want to display the states of that selected country. So dollar $HTTP method colon method between single quotes, I'm adding, we are posting the data, so I'm adding the method post. The second one is the URL, the path between single quotes / the controller name is Cas, and the JSON result, the method name for the get states, I'm adding get states comma data colon JSON dot stringify method. In this stringify method, I'm adding between curly braces, we are getting the country ID from this get states method object CID. I'm adding here colon and this variable country ID dot, then function state was an object, now in this function I'm adding dollar scope dot states is an object I have declared, state dot data, semicolon. Let's close with semicolon. That's it. We have added the AngularJS function. When we select the particular country name, I want to get the country states of that country. Now the same thing, when a user selects the state, I want to get that capital of that state, the city name, I want to display in the third drop down list control. So let's create another function, dollar scope dot get city is a function name, function the same logic we have to apply here, variable state ID is equals to dollar scope dot state if state ID, if a user select the state, I want to display the capital of the state, the city name I want to display in the third drop down list control, dollar $HTTP the method within single quotes, I'm adding the post method, URL, in single quotes a path, the controller name is cast, and here I am adding get cities method, comma, data colon JSON dot stringify method, between curly braces I am adding, in the get cities method I am adding the object SID colon this variable state ID dot then function city $scope dot, I'm declaring the variable cities is equals to city dot this object dot data. Let's close with semicolon. And that's it, we have added the AngularJS functionality. Now let's bind the data. And after the horizontal line I'm adding the do tag. Now inside this do tag I'm adding the AngularJS direct to ng-app. This one is app. I'm adding the Angular application name my app. The next direct to ng-controller, the controller name is my controller. Add that one also. After that, the next directive I'm adding we are submitting the data, we are posting the data also. ng-submit is equals to, in ng-submit I'm adding submitting the form method, send form method. Now between this do tag I'm adding select option element, the select option element which is a drop down list control, and the select first one is, in the select element I am adding the first AngularJS directive ng-model. The ng-model I am adding here the country name from the get states function, because we are selecting the country to get the states. ng-model country, ng-options, this one is the options, x dot the column name CID as x dot cname for x in I'm adding the object get country list. The next directive ng-change method, the get states function. In the option I'm adding select country. Now in the option I'm adding the value empty. This is the first drop down list control to display the country details, country names. Now the second one, select option for the state drop down list control. In the select I'm adding the Angular directive ng-model. Here the model I'm adding state. ng- the options directive x dot I'm adding the state ID SID as x dot sname state name for x in I'm adding the object states After that, the next directory ng-change method, change directory. Here I'm adding the change directory, the method I'm adding get city. When a user selects the state, I want to display the city name of the selected state in the drop down list 3 get city method. ng-disabled directory. When page loads, I want to disable the state drop down list control until a user selects the country name. So not I'm adding the states object from the getStates function. Here the option value is equals to empty select states. Now the last one, to display the city names, ng model, add here city, ng options, x dot, the column name I'm adding. In the city table we have city ID and city name. City ID as x dot city name for x in cities. And here I don't require the ng-change directory because I'm not selecting any city. ng-disabled, I'm adding the city subjects from the getCity function. Select city. That's it, we have done the complete coding part. Now before run this application, we must change the controller name. Open Solution Explorer. In the project app_start there is route config.cs file. Open that one and notice here the controller here home, which is a default one. Our controller name is CAS controller, CAS controller. Let's add this CAS, and the action result view page is the index only, which is this one, index.cshtml. That's it, we have done the complete coding part. Google Chrome, and here we got the final output, the header tags, horizontal line, and 3 drop down list controls. Notice the state and city are disabled until a user selects the country name. If I select India, see here the select states drop down list is enabled. The states of India is Telangana, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Now let's select the Telangana, select city Hyderabad. If I select USA, Texas, Austin, Australia, Queensland, Brisbane. That's it. We have implemented AngularJS in MVC to create a cascading drop-down list functionality.